Hello, friends. Hello. Hope that you are well. So, today we are on a bonus episode that is automatically on YouTube on the Mom Care Coach um, channel. So, if you're wanting to join us over there, you are free to do so. This is the Mom Care Coach podcast. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you're able to hear something that encourages you and that blesses you. If you are a long-term listener of the Mom Care Coach, thank you so much for being with us. We are actually it's been almost a year and a half, I think, of having the Mom Care Coach. So there's more than 50 different episodes. You can go over to wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're wanting to do that, only a handful of episodes actually make it over here on YouTube because we talk about a lot of different things over here. So I'm so glad that you have joined us today. We are actually on part 5, and it's so funny because I think I said I think we wouldn't do any more of the consistency um, series. So, what we're doing today is we are continuing, but I think this really will be the last episode on how to be a consistent autism mom. So, that's what that is happening. Also, if you hear any background noise, I'm sorry. It is in the evening when I'm recording this, and my window is open a little bit. And so I'm doing the best I can. I hope that you are able to hear me easily. So, thank you so much for joining. Today is that last episode, and I wanted to get this in. This is all about how to be consistent in your self-care as an autism mom during challenging seasons. But there was one more thing that I did not mention in part 4, because it also talks about challenging seasons. And it's this: I think it's really important for us to understand that when we are in a different season, specifically, AKA a challenging season, we cannot hold ourselves to the same standards that we did in a season where things are just going much more smoother or easier. And so it's just not fair to us. And when we are holding ourselves to these higher standards, and I won't even say higher standards, I would just say different standards because each season holds its own blessings and beauty. But when we are in a challenging season, as I said before, yes, those routine stacks, they will carry you. The habits that you have already formed will sustain you. It's a blessing for you and your family. That's why it's something you want to work on when impact is not hitting you so hard. However, if you are looking at your four intentional needs, which are sleep, mindset, movement, and nutrition, and you're kind of like, well, I have been doing like 20 minutes of each during some time during the week, or I have been doing like even 30 minutes or an hour during my lunch break at work for different things. And now, because of the season that I'm in, I'm only able to do like 5 minutes or 10 minutes in each section when I'm usually able to do a lot more, whatever the amount. I don't think necessarily we need to get so hung up on the amount. We need to be focused more on the process and live in the season that we are in, understanding that no season lasts forever. And that is biblical and that is cyclical and that is like, in every climate of every country, there are seasons. Sometimes the season may only be a couple seasons, but still there are seasons. And it's important for us to understand that they don't last forever. And you do need to live in the season that you are living in, that you're actually in. So I'll give you an example. Let's say when before you had kids, you would travel a lot, which is my story. I've been over 30 different countries and I would travel a lot and see lots of different things. I would even go to spas quite often. I would pay for a year or two at a time for a gym membership. I would pay for a year at a time so that I could go to a spa 5 days a week to get massages and to get skincare treatments and all of that stuff. That was a lifestyle that I lived. That was something that I chose to do and that I absolutely loved. However, that is not something that I do nowadays with my two children. I have two children. My oldest has a level 3 diagnosis of autism. as well as ADHD. My youngest has ADHD and dyslexia and possibly some autism in there as well. We have not checked currently. And so there's a lot going on. I love my children desperately, but I don't have the time freedom that I used to. And I have to take care of my physical, emotional, spiritual needs in a different way. I'm one of those people that have never had a village to help me raise my children, even when they were young. I've always been, I was married when they were really young, but I was divorced when they were young as well. And so for me, we had to create our village, but there were seasons that we just didn't have one. We had a friend here or there, but it wasn't like a situation where like if I needed like some time to myself or if I needed it, and especially with special needs kids, sometimes you need it even just go to an appointment for yourself, for your own health. That was always some kind of debacle I had to figure out, and it was really challenging. Things that seem easy for families, neurotypical families, can be very, very challenging for neurodiverse families and it can affect you in a variety of different ways. And so I said all that to say, at some point, I had to come to terms with the season that I am in. I am not able to just travel around and do all of that. So if I were to live in the way where, I'm doing the things that I did before I had children, then I would set myself up for failure. I would be really frustrated that I couldn't go and to get all the massages that I wanted to, or I'd get really frustrated that I didn't have the free time or the expendable income in the way that I did at that time. And so, in order to be able to make wise decisions about the season that you're in, you need to understand exactly the season that you're in. I mean, I'm wearing a t-shirt and a simple scarf, and I'm happy to do it. This is the evening, and my kids are, resting and doing other things. Mostly almost sleep, but not completely. And so I said all that to say that it's important to understand that we are wanting to live in the season we are in. And when we do that, we're able to find joy. And even if, you know, it's a season where you're like, wow, this is really tough, or I'm not able to do all of the things. This is a tip that was given to me years ago, and it's called Find a Mama Joy bag. So that's just a simple bag, like even like a bag that used to be your purse, but maybe it's like your current fave when it comes to your purse. I have like a big bag and you can put stuff in it. So when you do have a few minutes, you can go in the bag and see what is really fun to do. So for one thing, perhaps for mindset, you like to do adult coloring books. So you could have that in your Mama Joy bag. Maybe for mindset, you could also have a couple of essential oils in there also. And let's think of exercises, maybe some of those different bands. You can do some stretches when you get up a minute or two. And nutrition, having some healthy snacks in your bag is always awesome as well. And then sleep, maybe some reminders of the time that you need to turn off your blue light. I always suggest at least an hour before you're going to bed, you want to turn off your blue light. And so though there can be like little things, your favorite cup of coffee or tea or matcha in your favorite mug in the morning can be lovely. Just thinking of every day with beauty and intention and understanding and looking at things in a really mindful way can help you to be joyful in every season because there are a multitude of seasons and you don't want to just find joy in seasons where things to be when they're happy and when they're exciting. Because the truth of the matter is, not every day is something exciting happening, but you can make it exciting because of your intention, your mindfulness, and how you're going about it. So I wanted to give this really quick bonus episode to help you understand, number one, that it's important to live in the season that you are in currently. And if you're needing to look at things a little bit differently and maybe shorten the amount of time that you would for each of your four intentional needs, in the way, let's say if you're, like I said, if you are doing maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes in different areas. And now, because you're in a challenging season or in a really busy season, we're about to go into summer, depending on where you live. And so even in a really busy season, it's okay to shorten those, to shorten the amount of time that you're putting in there. I think the most important thing is the intentionality that you're putting into it and understanding that you are doing what's within your ability to do. And then also, giving yourself grace and understanding that nothing lasts forever, but it's a beautiful season, whichever season you're in. And then looking at that with intention, that's where the beauty is. And then maybe create your own Mama Joy bag where you're able to put things in there that remind you of your four intentional needs. So when you do have those minutes that pop up that you've pre-planned in your calendar, and maybe you'll have some other ones pop up that's not even in there, and then you can go in the bag and have fun. And looking at everything is with beauty and joy, then that's how you can enjoy your everyday life. So I hope that this has been encouraging for you. And also, as I mentioned before, I do have some openings now in the evenings for coaching. I have them like in 30-minute increments. So sometimes with autism moms, things kind of come up and we don't have a full hour to devote. But if we're able to take some time to get ourselves some coaching in those four intentional needs or in self-care or life coaching, then I can help you with that. And that can be very helpful for you, knowing that you don't have to commit to this full hour. But even if you did want to, you can just stack two 30-minute sessions together. So I hope you have a really great day. I look forward to hearing from you. And as always, do please take good care. Bye bye.